no doubt. DeQuell, now I was screaming right before you came on about how Josh Gordon had the year 2013. I think that was your last year here, right? Wasn't that your last year?
Yep, 2013.
Yeah, so like he had like almost 1,700. And now I was saying Brian Hoyer, but Brian Hoyer actually didn't play that much that year. He played a few games. But that was like Jason Campbell, Brandon Weeden, right? Like it was, like Jason Campbell,
quarterback,
solid veteran quarterback. Brandon Weeden, I thought he was going to be good. I was an idiot. And Brian, and Josh Gordon had 17, almost. And I think he only played 14 games that year. What a freak Josh Gordon was. But like that's what I'm saying. Like I think when a guy's great, yes, obviously Odell would be better here with Deshaun Watson. I just don't think Odell's ever going to be that player that he was those first couple of years with the Giants because he can't stay healthy.
No, I don't think he will because he's blown his knee out twice, 2 ACLs. The only person I know to come back from 2 ACLs and be somewhat resembled what they were before was Frank Gore. He's a different breed. Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah.
So you talk about Josh Gordon. I remember being on some of those teams. Like the entire offense was funneled to him. That was it. So he got a lot of targets, more so than most guys around the league. But you're right. He's a difference maker, a game changer, and he is a type of talent that can make anyone around him better. Now, if you want to compare that to Odell Beckham during his time in Cleveland, I don't think it just didn't click for him. It didn't click. His skill set and the scheme just didn't click. And for whatever reason, when you have a guy that's that talented, I'm sure he's behind closed doors like, hey, man, you got to give me the ball. That's why I'm here. That's why you went out and brought me in. I bring a certain eyeballs to the game. I'm a difference maker. I need the ball. And I don't think Baker, Kevin Stefanski, there's a lot of rumblings that we don't know about that probably took place that had a lot to do with him moving.
So not being there. I want you to speak to this because you just said something. When you've been around this league, tell these guys what happens when the fit is not right. When you're a square peg in a round hole, and I don't care how much talent you got.
It just doesn't work.
It's awful.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. You don't. Your production is down. You're not able to reach your full potential. And it's great that you bring that up because in many years that I played under a system in Cleveland, I never played behind the line of scrimmage. It was always a cover 2 style defense. I was always dropping back. And if you can ask anyone who ever played with me that was a running back, pass pro is a big deal in the National Football League and during training camp where the running backs are trying to block the linebacker and there's a dummy back there to simulate a quarterback. No one could ever block me. So anytime I did this drill, I made sure I gave 110% so it can change their mindset of, hey, we need to start blitzing this guy because no one can block him. It never changed the thing. And the minute I go to Indy, I have a coordinator who, same deal. He noticed no one could block me. Guess what? I had my best year. I had like 5 sacks that year. More than I ever did in my career. So it does.
The Browns screwed it all up.
Happens all the
Shocking.
time. Happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Because you think these coaches are sometimes the smartest. They're not smart.
Well, but Brad, the coaches in Indy were.
Yeah, but see,
I think a smart coach will look at the personnel. Everybody has a system. Right. Everybody has, I'm a 4-3 or whatever it is, 3-4. But if you have a player with an extraordinary skill set, like yours, like Odell when he was here, I think it's incumbent upon the coaching staff, somebody on that staff needs to step up and say to Kevin, yo, coach, this guy's a Mercedes and we're using him like a Volkswagen.
Right.
Let's make sure we get him the ball. And that didn't happen here.
So I remember a coordinator that I had in Indy. Greg Minuski. He was actually here in Washington for a bit. But I remember him saying vividly during the team meeting, because we had Robert Mathis, who will be in the Hall of Fame of pass rushers.
Yep.
And he told the entire team, listen, this guy is not dropping in coverage. If he drops in coverage, I don't have a job. Clear as day. So, so you have to, you're right, you have to identify someone with a unique skill set and you have to exploit it.
And, I heard, that reminds me of Greg Williams just saying out loud, infamously, Myles Garrett can't do swim moves. I said,
Greg Williams is an idiot.
I said, how you going to tell Myles Garrett He can't. That's like telling Jordan, "Oh, no fadeaways." What you mean? No pump. Telling Kobe, no pump fakes and pivots. That's what he do. How would you handcuff one of the best players that's the number one overall pick and is a freak?
Because I honestly believe Greg Williams
it happens a lot often. It happens a lot often, and I've had many coaches from my own personal experience just try to. I played the game with a feel and just this football IQ, and I felt the game. And a lot of times I've had a lot of coaches, well, why'd you do this or why'd you do that? Well, I made the play, well, I knew what I was doing, but no, I want you to do it my way. And it wasn't until the back nine of my career, I had to go to the head coach. I'm like, listen, this guy's trying to turn me into a robot. That's not why I was brought here. I want to play loose. I want to play free, but play within the system. And some guys are able to do it, but I was mature enough to go have an intelligent, mature adult conversation with leadership. And was like, and we made it work. So a lot of times players get caught up in systems where the only way you know how to deal with it is to blast it on social media or have your dad say something as opposed to in the office.
It's a bad look,
Hey, DeQuell, I want to get into. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit here and get to Deshaun Watson because we all know with the HBO special that came out this week, there's been so much talk about this. My feeling from never being in a locker room is that the majority of the players either don't care or even if they care about what may have happened, it doesn't matter. We're playing football. He's my teammate. That's it. Is that actually the case? You think?
Well, when you're in the building, you try to keep the outside noise. And every culture, every organization I played for, that's been the common, language. Whatever happens outside will happen outside. When we're in the building here, it's a laser focus on getting our job done because we have a huge task. So guys are able to compartmentalize what's going on, but obviously you want to know if he's a good guy or not. Regardless of whether or not you can play the game, if you realize he's this a-hole over here, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to really play for him. I'm not going to advocate for him. But he seems like a nice guy from, when we talk about pure football, but, to take guys on a trip to Bahamas, that was a great gesture. And I'm sure he's trying to feel his way out. But for the most part, guys in the locker room, as long as you can play, then you can ignore a lot of different things on the outside.
Yeah, that is the reality of it. We'll see if it has any impact at all on the locker room and the chemistry and everything moving forward. DeQuell, we're going to have a debate right now about drafting a kicker in the 4th round. So the Browns had their eyes on Cade York from LSU. They weren't sure if he was going to be around in the 5th round, so they just went ahead and took the kicker with the 4th round. It addresses a major need because, as you know, without Dawson in a Browns uniform, this team has struggled mightily, just like they had to find a quarterback to get that position right. Do you think that's too high to take a kicker? I love that. I saw it. That is great. Do you think it's too high to take a kicker, or did they do the right thing by knowing they had a need, knowing there was a player there that could fill that need, and not knowing if he was going to be there in the next round, so they just took him?
Yeah, when I saw him make that pick, I thought it was a luxury pick. I do like the pick, and I'll tell you why. If it was the Indianapolis Colts making this pick, I would say that's an idiotic move because you play in the Dome 8 games out of the year, and you don't have to really deal with really extreme conditions when in late November, late October, when you're trying to position yourself for a playoff position. It does make sense here, and I do like the pick. I've been fortunate to play with some really, really great kickers, Adam Vinatieri in Indianapolis, and you realize just how, unique their ability is. And I think I love the pick. I really do. When you look at the AFC North and you look at the weather conditions, you look at kicking in Pittsburgh, you need a guy that's above average. Again, 4th round, I think it's a bit high, but I do appreciate them actually pulling that trigger. And listen, I think it's a luxury pick. They really have it shows me they really have a lot of confidence in the roster they built to go out and draft a kicker at such a high round.
And that might be the missing link. Bull, you like it?
Well, go ahead. You jump in.
Well, here's the thing. For me, we done all been broke before, right? You get one of them cars, you get your little job, you ain't got no transportation, you on the bus. You like, okay, well, listen, I need to go get me a car. You go over to one of the local car lots, and they say, well, you don't ask them, about that one over there. They tell you what you can afford, right? This is what the bank gonna give you. And so you may look at it and say, well, that interest rate at 27%, that's kind of high. But if you're going to give it to me and I can take it home, like, I got to get to work. See, when you need something and you got to have something, you ain't got no time to be quibbling about the interest rate or how much down. You need transportation. This is going to get it done. I can be at work tomorrow. Thank you. Very good. The Browns need a kicker. It may be a little pricey at 4th round, but we had it, we gonna pay it, and we good.
I love that analogy.
His analogies are
so good.
I see where he's going with the 27% interest rate.
I love
right?
the analogy, but here's what I'd say. Name me a kicker drafted higher than the 5th round that's ever been worth the draft pick.
And the car might not be worth it.
Wait. You don't like your guy?
I'm saying drafted higher than the 5th round.
He was drafted in the 5th round.
Well, I'm saying before the 5th round. If you look at all the guys that have been drafted in the last decade before the 5th round, they've all been disappointments.
Where was Vinatieri drafted?
Not before the 5th round.
I don't believe
Well, that was a long time ago anyway.
Yeah.
But
I
mean, they drafted all. Look at. They drafted Austin. Like most of these kickers, Mike Nugent was drafted in the 2nd round, which is absurd. He was an okay
What about
kicker.
Janikowski was a first-round pick.
Who was?
Janikowski.
Yeah, great kicker, but not worth a 1st-round pick.
Let me tell you something.
But here's the thing. In the end, if Gay is good, then fine, whatever. I think drafting in the 4th round is an overcorrection to the Bengals getting McPherson last year. I think that's a little bit of a panic move. I'll give Berry, because I like Berry a lot, I'll give him some benefit of the doubt here that he thought he was going to go. So, okay, but you better get it right. And, by the way, you haven't solved the kicker issue just because you draft.
No.
This always drives me crazy. When people draft, it's like, well, we solved our problem.
Now, we don't know
the guy
that
you're
yet.
replacing him, the guy who's being replaced, you thought that guy solved the problem.
Yeah.
So until the guy plays good football in the NFL, whatever position, you didn't replace the guy.
Brad, what do you think?
And I say this, if you're building a championship Super Bowl team, if you think you have a Super Bowl team, you have to have all the pieces. Kicking was just off the chart. I mean, it was like one of the glaring weaknesses that we had. You have to fill the hole, right?
Yeah.
And so they saw a chance to get a person that could fill a void for them. I don't have any problem with them reaching up to get somebody in the 4th round, right? I don't. If that person can deliver what I need to be done, because you get down the stretch, kicking is a major play out here.
Listen, it's called football, and it decides too many games, but that's the rule.
Can anybody name the kicker for the Super Bowl champion Rams?
No matter.
No, I don't.
Matt
But,
Gay.
No
yeah,
matter.
good job, Matt
He's
Gay.
a fantasy kicker.
Yeah, but here's
He was a 5th round pick.
So
he was a 5th round pick.
You can bring a million examples
Yeah.
all you want.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, your Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year because you addressed your need at kicker, and you got a great one. People will forget where that player was drafted in 3 years. They're not going to look back and say, oh, my God, he was a 4th round.
Look, and
This
look
is
at
the
these
point that I
kickers.
want to make right here. I asked them to build this graphic for a reason.
Get my money off.
and DeQuell went to this, okay? You're in a division that has the best kicker ever to do it, perhaps, in Justin Tucker. You've got Chris Boswell with the Steelers, a top-flight kicker. Evan McPherson, guys, in 1 year, Evan McPherson broke postseason kicking playoff records.
Yes.
He was 14 of 14 in playoff games. That is a new record. And the 14 makes ties Adam Vinatieri for the most makes in a postseason. Bull, you know this as well as anyone because they're your team.
Yeah.
He won games for the
He did.
Bengals
He's
that
great.
if he didn't make those kicks,
I'm glad they used
don't
the draft
go to
pick
the
on him.
Super Bowl.
I'm glad.
So,
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying that this was a good pick, and history will tell us whether or not this was a good pick. But in the here and now, they had a glaring need for a kicker. And I think that the stats that jumped out most to me, first of all, I love the fact that he kicked at a school where there were high-pressure kicks.
Yeah.
He won a national championship.
Yeah.
He played in huge games, and he was trotted out there to make kicks that were make-or-break kicks.
Yeah.
In fact, he beat Florida and your guy, McPherson, with like a 52-yarder in the fog. That was one of the great kicks I've seen in college football history.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see the uprights. The numbers that really jumped out at me about Cade York, and DeQuell, this is, I think, what really changes the game. He was 15 of 19 on kicks greater than 50 yards.
Yeah.
I just think it brings so many more scoring opportunities to a team when you've got a guy that you can throw out there and not hope that he makes it, but you've got numbers that can say he should make this kick.
I hear you. I will say in the end, I'm fine with it. I'm not that angry about it. They better be right about it if you're going to use that high a pick on a kicker.
Especially
Don't
because
get
they
it
missed
wrong.
on Gonzalez.
And the truth is, you showed that
And
graphic.
Siebert.
Bring up the graphic of the 4 kickers again. Justin Tucker and Chris Boswell, both undrafted.
Listen,
Both undrafted.
I
I'm just
think that's
saying, just because you need a kicker doesn't mean you need him in the 4th round.
I know.
But it's so hard to find. So hard to find a kicker. Everyone, every training camp, any training camp that I've ever been to, you've always had a slew of kickers to try out, and they present to be good 1 minute, and then they can't kick in the real when the real bullets are flying. So the fact that you have a chance to go grab a kicker that most people don't really, it's hard. They're hard to find. They're really hard to find.
It's a copycat league.
You have to pull the trigger.
You're right, Jay, though. In the end, if he's good, nobody's going to care.
Nobody's going to care. And I think it is a copycat league.
Yeah.
And last year, because the Bengals
No doubt
went
that factored
highly,
in.
I think that probably did
Yes.
force the Browns' hand a little bit.
Yes.
Because they're projecting, where are the teams that need kickers?
Right.
Have they already addressed the other needs that they have in the draft, in this draft? And if so, they made the calculated decision that he might not be here in the 5th round. So they went ahead and they took him. DeQuell, we can cap this debate with one question. Are kickers football players?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't think you'd say that.
Listen, I have a special love for my kickers. I have a framed jersey of Phil Dawson over here, and I have cleats from Adam Vinatieri when he became the all-time scoring champion. So absolutely.
Wow,
yes,
that's pretty cool.
What about punters?
I got a couple things for you.
All right.
How many times did the Browns come up empty on 4th down? Right.
A lot.
And I wish that sometimes we had just kicked the ball and take the points. Right?
Oh, my God.
I know, but listen, there was a reason they didn't. If they felt the kicker was going to definitely make the kick, they would have taken the
Exactly.
points.
You had another option. But I'm gonna go to something else. G. Bush and I were talking about it early in the pre-meeting here.
Yeah.
DeQuell, what do you think about Stefanski putting that hoop out there on the field? Right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Love it.
That was beautiful.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Because all football players think they could have played in the NBA at some point. Even me, I'm one of those people. I thought I was a much better basketball player than a football player growing up. And I've lost a lot of money, not even with a basketball hoop, but a trash can with my tape from my shoes.
Right.
So absolutely, I love that. It breaks
I thought
it
it
up.
was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. Right?
Did you dunk?
DeQuell,
Did you
quickly.
dunk, DeQuell?
Yeah, I can't dunk anymore, but I used to.
Hey, DeQuell,
I'm done.
ask Brad Sellers. DeQuell, ask Brad what happened when the Ohio State football players, some of the Ohio State football players, challenged the Ohio State basketball team to a pickup game. Go ahead and ask them.
So,
Oh man! So
DeQuell,
please tell me.
I gotta tell you. So we're in study table, right? And so the basketball players and the football players are arguing. So this who was at Ohio State with me when I was at Ohio State? Chris Carter, Keith Byers, Pepper Johnson, Thad Jemison.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, we had some players, right? And these were some.
Oh, my goodness.
So they were from great Ohio high schools. They were great hooping high school teams, right? So we get in the thing and they started talking about it, right? And I said, I started running my mouth. I said, well, come on, I'm the All Big Ten player. Shut up, don't be talking to me like that. Meet me at the Jesse Owens Rec Center across the way. We're gonna put some money up on this thing. So Ohio State basketball players, and then we put the Ohio State football players in the thing, and it drew a crowd. I forgot to tell you that it was a crowd.
You could have sold tickets.
It was a crowd.
So now the pressure's on.
It was a crowd.
Yeah.
Now, DeQuell, what I did not know, what happened was, the basketball players got popped.
Wow! Are you serious?
Listen, I didn't know Chris Carter could hoop like that. I read it in a magazine, but I never saw it. And then Keith Byers played for, they won a state championship down in Dayton, right? And he and Pepper Johnson bringing that wood to you every day, right? And I was like this. Well, I was like this. Why y'all don't come over here and play with me in the wintertime?
Hey, DeQuell, your reaction was the same as ours. We were thunderstruck
Stunned.
when he said that the football team whipped their ass.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I appreciate. That's probably the only story I've ever heard of football players beating basketball players on the court. I had that same moment in college. We tried, the guys that thought they could play on the football team. We challenged their starting 5 at Maryland. We got ran out the gym. Let me tell you that. It wasn't even close. Listen, I'm gonna say Chris Carter and Keith Byers will not let me live that down to today,
right? If I get
Oh, I
on,
would-
if I
I
get
would
on
never let you
Twitter,
live it down.
they'd be like,
Yeah, that's
I said Chris Carter came here and hosted the Cleveland Sports Award one day, and he was on the stage. He said, I was talking to him before, and he said, "Oh, my man's Brad is out there. Let me tell you this story."
That story's never going to die.
Classic.
Passing it down to their
Classic.
grandkids.
Well, DeQuell, when he comes
That's a
back
great
in, it'll be
story.
the second time a football player loses to a basketball player in his career. So I'm still taking the win in that.
Oh, see,
three-point
okay,
shootout.
okay. You think
man.
so? You think so?
Oh,
You better practice. You better practice.
Mike, you're talking a lot of junk, man.
Make sure with my offhand.
Hey, it's a lefty on lefty battle then. Let's do it.
Yeah, McNuggets is a lefty. I should let you know that. Are we going to do top five? Wait, G-Bush has something he's been dying to say.
Well, now I got to rephrase it a little bit now. So, by the way, you guys can get in on the comment section on this. This is a shop talk conversation. This is what guys talk about in the barbershop. And so this question, it goes to all the panel. I'll start off with you, Mr. Jackson.
Okay.
How much, we all know that when you're in a committed relationship, you all know when you get married, there's certain restraints on you.
Expectations.
I'm
know
gonna
what you're talking about.
I'm gonna ask this question.
Yeah, I was
What,
like, where's
what is the amount of money you can spend without notifying your significant other, spouse, or wife?
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Before she be
Wow,
like,
that's
well, hey, we didn't talk about that. We didn't have that conversation. And this for everybody. We'll go down the line here.
All right.
I thought I started with Mr. Jackson
That's a
first.
tough question. Right there.
Woo, that's tough. Oh,
You better not
man.
get that wrong, well.
Right. Let's say this. We keep close eyes on all of our finances. So if I spend more than $500, oh, it's definitely better be in good reason.
Five, yeah,
Definitely good reason.
okay.
And I'm pushing it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It might actually be
$350.
$350. It might be $350.
Yeah, that's a great, yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a gray area in there.
She said, "I see a transaction here. What is this transaction?"
Bull, what's your number?
I'd say it's probably around the same. I mean, the only time I'm spending, DeQuell Jackson's made a lot more money in his career than I have. So the only time I'm spending $500 or more on something would be like we're buying a house or we're buying a car or maybe a TV. My wife's involved in any decision like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
What else? I don't spend for this show, believe it or not, even though I'm not that nice a dresser, I spent about $1,000 on to have
I think you look great.
clothes.
Well, no,
Thank you.
don't-
Thank
Time.
you.
Yeah.
Hank, I spent $1,000, but I told my wife, and she's totally supportive. I'm
Sure.
like, I got to go out and buy some clothes. I'm
Right.
going to be on TV.
Yeah. Wait, now before we go any further,
Yeah. Yes.
Mikey McNuggets is killing us
Go ahead,
because
Mike.
this segment is sponsored. He didn't get to do that in
Oh,
the
yeah, we
read.
gotta read the
No,
So,
this is a great question, and we're going to get some internet comments. But DeQuell, we are now a sponsored show. You're going to get 2 sponsored ad reads during your hit here. This question is
unbelievable.
brought to you by PCC Airfoils. Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of
Airfoils.
PCC Airfoils in Eastlake,
Airfoils.
Menor,
Airfoils.
Whitecliff, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 an hour. Plus, get a full benefit package, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
Awesome. Yes.
Airfoil.
18 an
Mikey
hour?
finally pronouncing the name correct of all the towns.
Yes, after
He's
day
finally
3.
getting it
On
right.
day 3, he's got it right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get Mr. Brad.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
Brad.
talk to him.
Well, you don't want
Oh,
to
yeah,
talk to me.
please. I need everyone to answer.
Well, here, I'm going to give you this. Let me tell you something, DeQuell. Your boy here over here is divorced. I don't remember when I was married. That was a long time ago.
Let me ask you this.
So I walk in now, I think I'm going to drop this on this right now, right? Those external pressures, I don't have.
you don't
have. I got a better
They're
one.
gone.
They're
Brad,
gone.
So
your number.
I'm foggy on the rest.
Your number might be the biggest of all because Brad's the mayor.
Right.
How much can you spend before you get city council's approval?
25,000.
There
I
it is.
told you.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop.
Now, his budget.
25,000.
25,000.
Now, Jay-
That's my number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you got the 25,000.
If I'm going to spend $24,999,
Yeah.
wifey doesn't have to know about it.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Bull, I'm you, bro. I'm you, Bull. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
In my relationship, I've been married to my bride for 35 years.
Yeah.
She's the love of my
35
life.
years.
35 years.
Clap for that.
Wonderful, blissful years.
Yeah.
Show off.
Yeah.
The reason it's worked is
Yeah.
because she is in this relationship every bit my equal on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decisions about career. Where are we going to take this job? Are we going to move here? House we're going to buy, cars we're going to drive, how we raised our kids,
100%.
how we spend our money. I don't spend money. I really do not spend money.
Yeah.
I will say something out loud. I love that pair of shoes. Or, I'd really like to have this. And it's unbelievable. I'm married to the greatest woman in the world. Within 2 days, it shows up in my house from Amazon.
Yeah.
She's so attentive. She hears me say things, and she knows that I really don't buy things for myself. I don't. But all I have to do is mention out loud I want something, and it shows up.
So I say that to say this. What's your limit?
It is a team. Wait, what was that?
I say that to say this. What's your
That
limit,
was
dog?
nice. He said that was nice.
That was
What's your
nice.
limit?
That was a charity speech.
Jay, after you answer this question, I have a story for that because my wife did the same thing for me.
Isn't that
years
awesome?
ago? Let me explain. So years ago, before I signed my 5-year contract in Cleveland, I'd always talked about buying a Bentley. I want a white Bentley. I want this Bentley. I signed my contract, and guess what shows up at the house?
Oh,
A white Bentley,
Oh.
but a toy white Bentley. not the oversized. No, the toy white Bentley.
Here go your white
And I
Bentley.
gave her a big hug. I'm like, you know what? In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna marry you one day.
You know what, DeQuell, I think that's a great story, and here's why. She's the brains behind the operation. I want to buy, like, I want big things, but she talks me out of it. She's like, do you really need that?
Yeah.
And it
You gotta
sounds
have
like your
somebody
wife
like
is
that.
practically
You gotta have
smart.
somebody like that.
And,
Yes. Yes.
did you need the white Bentley? No, you always wanted it? Well,
No.
now you have one. It's just not the one you wanted.
Yeah, right.
And I have it upstairs somewhere.
What about you, G?
Well,
And
listen.
your wife
Yeah.
is newer. Your wife is newer to America, so does that factor in at all?
Oh, so no. My wife is an accountant by trade.
So she's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
top of it.
But
So
here's
you're
the
not
thing.
spending anything.
Here's the thing. I can tell you that we wouldn't want to do the first marriage or the second one. Which y'all want?
Both.
All right, the first marriage. Listen, man, I would come back to the spot. And she'd be like, there's an unusual ATM fee.
Transaction.
I was like, what you mean unusual? Somebody went to eBay and bought some stuff. She's like, no, it's $3. It said you took it out of a foreign ATM.
$3?
I was like, listen.
That led to the divorce.
Yeah.
I said there's a couple of things we're not gonna talk about. One is taxes because I gotta pay them. 2, being black because I'm always gonna stay black. I have no choice. I can't do the Michael Jackson. And 3, I'm not talking about 4 ATM charges. Like, yo, I'm one of the people that just be swiping on accident. If I'm only buying food and it's gas, I'll go to the gas station and get gas and be like, well, I saw this, I saw that. I come back with a big bag of stuff. I said, but I ain't buying nothing crazy. My limit now is, so shout out to my new wife. She's a darling.
Is there a number in this?
I do got a number in this.
Okay.
Long story short,
$2.
that if I have to sign or finance anything, that's a conversation. Like if it's payments involved, like we're gonna send no bills
that's fair.
every month.
That's fair.
You ain't no signing on. Like if it costs you to finance it, if you ain't got it on deck, and as long as all the bills is paid, I don't really got a limit like that. So
All right.
you see how it works?
All right.
No
I think that will work.
Is that first or second? What's
The first it was like 50, and I said, "Oh no, we can't have this."
That's why she's the former wife.
50.
DeQuell, do you have a second to stay on and do the top 5 with us?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Mikey McNuggets, it's all yours.
All right,
What is
beautiful.
it today?
So this was actually inspired by Roundstone, which Anthony, great switch. Roundstone, presenter of the Ultimate 5. Roundstone offers a better alternative for affordable quality health care. For more than a decade, Roundstone Insurance has been saving small and mid-sized businesses money up to 20%. Contact us today to learn how you can get great health care benefits that your employees will love and save money too. So I say this all with this caveat.
All right.
Okay.
I think me and DeQuell are friends now.
I think you
He
are.
watched the whole show last week. He texted us. He called me after the show. He wanted to know
You're
the
buds.
inside joke we were going on, which we're not going to say.
Yeah.
So I have a theory that I've always wanted to present to an NFL player. So DeQuell, I need your opinion on this. Then I'll tell you my top 5 because they're related. I have a theory that all defensive players play defense because they weren't necessarily
No.
skilled enough to play offense. Like DBs,
Not
Why
wide
would he
receivers
agree
that
with
couldn't
that?
catch.
You just
No,
killed your
not
friendship
true.
with DeQuell.
Your
No,
friendship
you're
is dead now.
But DeQuell, am I wrong?
You're absolutely wrong. Some of the best athletes are defensive backs and linebackers. We can play. Listen, we're just not fast enough to be running backs, but we can take a hit, we can deliver a hit, and we can catch and do all those good things. So that is a absolute rumor, not true. These guys are just as athletic and all that good stuff. So no,
they just
you're
have
absolutely
different
wrong.
skill sets, right? It's different skill sets, not a better or worse.
I wasn't saying they're not athletic.
Yes,
but
you
I just
were.
think every DB wants to be a
No,
receiver.
you
that
were
just can't
saying that.
catch.
That's what we heard.
Here's what I.
You would definitely. You know what? This is going to be personal when I beat you in this shooting.
I thought you were going to say beat.
DeQuell, here's what I heard.
Beat is what?
Well, what I heard was you played defense because you weren't good enough to play offense. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of take
That's
is
what
that?
I heard.
It was a
See?
question. It was something I always wanted to ask. Now I have an
It
answer.
wasn't a question. It was
But
a
what
theory.
defensive-
Let me go to flight
How
to
did he
Cleveland
go
really
to
quick.
again?
Yeah, right. What defensive player would ever say, "Yeah, you're probably
You're right. Yeah, I wanted to be a running back, but I
Jay,
wasn't good enough.
Jay, what college is he going to again?
I know. Did you get a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree?
That was a very easy
Tenders
4 years.
University.
Get this out of here.
Yeah. Mikey McNuggets is known as tenders for the next 5 minutes on
that
this
is
show.
All right, so
Young buck.
with this in mind, then this list was the 5 coolest positions in sports.
All right.
All right.
So we're gonna
wow.
start with number 5,
Come on.
goalies. Do you guys recognize that picture by any chance on the
that you?
panel? Do you guys recognize
That's
that?
Anthony.
Yeah,
That's
that is young Anthony.
All right, that's associate producer
Goalie,
Anthony
yeah, all right.
as a goalie.
That's
Is that a
terrible.
cool position?
I was thinking
though?
more hockey goalie, to be honest. They have the
That's
swag.
terrible.
The helmets are all decked out.
No,
He
I
calls it
like
soccer goalie,
I
but-
like that soccer goalie because that soccer goalie are athletic. I mean, if you watch the big boys
Yeah.
play,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
all
no.
you athletic.
At the highest level, they're
I'm trying
sick.
to score. I ain't trying to sit here and
We
block
need,
all
by the
that.
way,
No,
the
you
list
athletic.
we need next week is list we need next week is top 5 coolest athletes of all time.
Yeah,
Done.
that's a good one.
DeQuell, next
Okay.
Friday, that's the
That-
list.
that-
We got that.
Okay, I'm the way I answer the question of coolest, like chicks dig the long ball.
Right.
So I'm gonna I want to say like if you're talking coolest, I'm thinking which position gets the most chicks.
Yeah.
Goalie isn't in my
Goalie
top
doesn't get any
50.
chicks. They're
Ever.
smelly.
Have you
gross.
seen Henrik Lundqvist's list of girlfriends? Yeah.
Oh, that's a
you
great.
may wanna,
no, listen,
you may
no,
wanna
that
go
is
back.
a great
Yeah.
point.
Dude,
but
every athlete gets
yeah,
great
yeah.
girls.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I've never. I don't know that I've heard
No,
a lot of
that's
women
not-
say,
that's not
"I'm
true.
going after that goal."
Yeah, that's true.
That's like saying, "I'm going after that center."
Wait a second.
I want that center.
I've seen A-ball minor league baseball players who were never going to the majors get hot chicks.
Because they're Major League Baseball players.
But they're minor league players.
Oh, I thought you said Major.
Yeah.
Well, there's a chance. All right, so
Let's keep going.
Go.
Number 4, quarterbacks. And that is
How's that
four
number
because
one?
hold on,
How's
hold
that
on.
number 4?
Because there are some elite cool quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, the list goes on and on. But for every one of those, there's a Daniel Jones and there's an Eli Manning,
And
there's some
everybody
not
still knows
cool
who they are.
quarterbacks.
Oh.
Everybody
Right.
in New York knows who Daniel Jones is,
take-
even if he's
That
garbage.
should be number 1. I don't agree with this.
See, I'm with D on this.
Quarterback's
DeQuell, we're going to have to take his card here.
Yeah, I know.
We get real close to us taking a card
About
here.
to.
Yeah, we're about to take his
McNuggets,
card.
this is horrible so far.
There's just there are
Yeah.
other positions that have a higher cool hit rate.
let's see what you got.
Let's see
All
what
right,
you
number
got.
3, point guards.
Okay, please.
It's the one in basketball you want to be. Allen Iverson, Steph
That's a
Curry. They
good
got
one.
the most swag.
I don't
they
got
got
a
cool
part. I don't
shoes.
got a problem with that.
I don't.
That might be, yeah, I'm good
What's
with point
cooler
guard.
than a
Point guard's
quarterback and a
cool.
point guard?
Say it again,
Right?
Joel.
Exactly.
What's cooler than a quarterback and a point guard? I feel like those will be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I need
I
to
just
see
feel like
what.
there are some quarterbacks that don't have the swag level to make it as cool as the first
No,
three.
he's
on my list.
saying,
Well,
he's saying
whatever
he's saying
position
what's
you
your
give
next
us,
two.
whatever position you
He
give
said,
us
'cause
is
you already
number one.
played- he said you already played your best hand, right? So what else can beat them?
Yeah. What do
I
you
got a football position at number 1. We're getting to that next.
If
I
this
know
was
where
spades, you ain't got no more trump cards.
you ain't holding nothing.
None.
You're down to 4 hearts.
What's number 2?
Playing clubs.
Number 2, shortstop. It is
Yeah.
a position everyone wants to play
Has to
growing
be.
up.
Yep.
Bull, I'm sure your
Yeah,
best
yeah.
player
I'm
plays
with you on shortstop. I wouldn't put it ahead of point. I think right now I would have quarterbacks 1, point guards 2, shortstop 3. That's
Boom.
what I would
There it
That's
is.
it. That's
There
it.
it is.
Agreed.
Let's go to number 1 real
Wait,
quick.
before you give number 1, I want to. Oh, you're too late. I was going to ask DeQuell to guess where you were going to go.
Wide receivers are cool.
They have first of all,
I
that's
mean,
a
I give
terrible
them that.
picture, Anthony. Of all the pictures you could have picked, you have Justin Jefferson dropping a ball. Anthony doing me dirty from the inside on that. Let's pull up the full list here, Steve. But there's no not cool receivers. They all have swag. They got the armbands, the extra wrist guard. I don't know. They just ooze swag.
They get
They're
a lot of
cool.
girls.
Any non-cool wide? Who's not cool? That's a wide receiver.
Daniel Jones. Oh,
No,
wide
wide
receiver.
receiver. He makes a good argument. Wide receivers are pretty cool. He's talking me into it.
Adam
What's your-
Thielen is not really what you call cool.
Come on.
He's not the epitome
You
of
can't name the
cool.
one white guy and make him not cool.
Cooper Kupp is super cool. Like
Cooper
he's
Kupp is super
he has,
dope.
Yeah.
DeQuell wanted to say something. Go ahead,
McTenders, what's
DeQuell.
your criteria? What's your criteria on this?
Before I answer that, we got a McTenders. He's combined 2 now.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to add that to the list.
Did he say McTenders?
He called you McTenders. We gotta write that down.
Well, because I
You're
said
tenders right now.
I said for the next 5 minutes you're tenders because Stevie, the director, is calling you tenders.
I'm good with wide receivers on the list. It shouldn't be one. Let's face it, the coolest player in the NFL right now is Joe Burrow. That's it. He's the
I didn't want to put
player.
Joe Burrow on this list in Cleveland. I feel like that would have turned into a very
and he's not the coolest,
tough.
but
Well, don't you think Joe Burrow's the coolest player in the NFL right now? No.
Is he the coolest player in the NFL? No, I gotta go with a receiver though. I gotta go with my buddy from Buffalo,
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs got swag.
Maryland man.
He's got major swag.
Maryland man.
Wait, so real quick, you guys just roasted me for that list, but you asked Quell what's the coolest dude in the NFL. He said a receiver. So
that's true. He did.
McTenders back to McNuggets. Point me.
It's not
Yeah,
bad,
but
wide
you know
receiver.
what?
Yeah,
Like
but quarterback. So my theory with the quarterback, you can probably name all 32 quarterbacks. Can you name all, receivers in the league? You just can't do it. Those guys are just come with fame, and everyone wants to be a quarterback and all that good stuff. So I think quarterback definitely, but receiver has more swag.
I think the coolest athlete of all time was probably Joe Namath. I just thought
cooler than Ken Griffey?
Yeah,
No, I'll
I
take
just
Ken
thought
Griffey over anyone.
Joe because Joe was so far
wait a
before
second.
Ken
Wait
Griffey.
a second. Ken Griffey. It's either Ken Griffey or Bo Jackson.
Bo was
what?
cool. Bo's
coolest
personality.
player of all time.
Bo's personality was
Prime time.
different though.
I'll go say Dion.
Deion.
I'll go say Dion.
Yeah, Deion's got to be.
Deion's the greatest.
I don't want you to confuse coolness with swag though.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I just thought.
Dion had both.
Just close your eyes. You
Yeah.
can still see this picture.
Yeah.
Joe sitting around in a fur coat and the black
He
shades,
played against plumbers and
predicting
farmers.
that the Jets were going to win the Super Bowl.
This is controversial, but I'm going to say this. Deshaun Watson is cool. You know why Deshaun Watson is cool? You saw it the other day, DeQuell. He's handing out rollies. Now, as a linebacker, what do you think about the asking price? I felt like that was big time. Would you have gave the 52 up for a rollie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can have it. You can take it. You can take it. Give me the Rolex.
Yeah, so if Ray Lewis came to Cleveland and said, I want 52, you're giving it up for the Rolex.
You know what? I would have given it up for a Pro Bowl seat. How about that?
How about that? I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go back to your cool athlete, right?
Yeah, who's yours?
Not a coolest athlete here. Jordan is the coolest athlete.
Oh, yeah, that's
Jordan has cool now.
He ain't paying for nothing, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, right? And he'll walk into the building, and the epitome of cool will come. You should see the people that gravitate towards this man.
I know, it's insane.
It's insane.
Wherever he goes.
It's insane.
Steve, our executive producer, has a good one too. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah, before
That's
it's
nice.
done.
I thought he had the best personality of any athlete. For sure.
Scariest athlete ever. Albert Bell or Mike Tyson?
Tyson.
Oh,
Tyson in his prime.
Tyson.
Tyson by far.
Tyson.
I'm glad DeQuell agreed.
I thought Phil Taylor was pretty scary.
Well, let's see what the internet is saying about this stuff.
Come on.
Warren Ash says Ken Griffey quit on the Mariners after he had to come back, get in his car, went home during the season. What a bozo. All right, guess we don't got no Ken Griffey
That
Jr.
guy
people.
wait, he called Ken Griffey a bozo?
Yeah, Ken Griffey's a bozo.
If you think Ken Griffey Jr. is a bozo, you're a bozo. Get out of here.
Let's see. Mink coat and fair faucet for Joe Namath. I don't know what that really means.
That's how cool he was.
Yeah, okay.
He wore the mink coat. You can see him in that big fur coat.
Joe
It's
Namath
a very
would be Baker
famous
Mayfield
picture.
now.
Yeah.
Somebody says, can you imagine?
Coyote on.
Somebody says, Mick the dog says, can you imagine having a conversation with Cooper or Chubb? Crickets.
Yeah. True. We got to let DeQuell go because we kept him past his time.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. I'm here.
Peace up.
DeQuell, we always love your takes. We love having you on. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, DeQuell. See you
Be
next week.
safe, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, DeQuell.
The great DeQuell Jackson, who can now scratch.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes.
There he goes.
There he goes.
There he is.
Happy hour somewhere, baby.
Happy holidays,
Happy
baby.
hour somewhere.
Happy holidays, baby.
It's happy hour at the Jackson
See you,
household right
DeQuell.
now.